Practicing certain principles like fasting, deferred gratification, selfless service, and cheerful generosity will ensure you create a right balance of comfort and discomfort that will cause you to grow. So you should not try as much as possible to flee from comfort. Special mention ni Deno. I don't know if you remember, but sometime last year you were saying how sometimes unajipeleka fasting na vitu kama hizo so that you don't get comfortable. Because when you get to a place, I strongly believe that this decade is our decade of establishment. And when we're being established in the different spheres of our lives, blessings, both monetary and spiritual, will come. And with it, there's the danger of being comfortable. So you need to be very, very intentional of plucking yourself from that place of comfort, and ensuring that you serve the Lord and the fire of your faith is not quenched. I have more points, but I will end at this last one, which is having a generational mindset. What is your perspective of inheritance? Is it only monetary wealth or tangible things? You need to shift your perspective of what wealth is. I remember during Rob's bachelor party, we met a group of well-established gentlemen, his father and his friends. They're part of our Bible study. And they called us. We were with Rob, we were his groomsmen. We went a couple of gentlemen. And they were just sharing with us their life experiences and stuff like that, just imparting unto us. And the thing I loved is they did this exercise. I think it's called the Wheel of Wealth, or that's what I've decided to call it. So there's a circle, and then they tell you to feel the different quadrants of that circle. So maybe your spiritual life, what would you say it is? Monetary, career, family, all those things. And for everyone, which wasn't a surprise, you never get a complete circle. And they were like, if it's a car, obviously that ride won't be comfortable. But the thing is this. When it came to wealth, I think for us, when you're young, I think sometimes the challenges of life cause you to focus so much on the here and the now, and you don't have a generational mindset. I think for us, even as we end this year, when God is calling us to maturity, the thing I'd like to urge us is have a generational mindset. I think probably because of different situations, the parents get this. I think after you've born a child, you go like, hey, there's this responsibility. I need to ensure that this child, I instruct them in the way of the Lord so that in future they will not depart, and I impart in them the right skills, and earlier as I'd mentioned, the right character to enable them to weather both the good and the bad. The Lord partners with people with a generational mindset, not selfish people. Laying foundations for blessings and things you might not see in your lifetime. People who are generational lay foundations for things even they themselves might not see or enjoy in their time. Our problem is sometimes we are short-sighted and we like quick gain. Can God entrust you with the ancient parts and the secrets of his kingdom without the risk of losing you to the blessing? I'll ask that again. Can God entrust you with the ancient parts and the secrets of his kingdom without the risk of losing you to the blessing? Proverbs 13 verse 22. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. So are you a good man? Are you a righteous man? Have you started thinking about an inheritance for your children's children? I love what the late Miles Monroe did. In one of his sharings, he said that he had acquired some real estate somewhere, and he had put it in the name of his grandchildren. So, according to God, he was already a good and righteous man. So, for him, he's already established himself as a good and righteous man. So, wacha nitafutie sasa ya watoto wangu, because I've already secured an inheritance for my children's children. So you need to have a generational mindset. Are the decisions you're making today selfish and just beneficial to yourself? Or have you started thinking about the nations that will come after you? Have you started trusting God to start showing you those whose destinies are dependent upon the decisions you make in the course of your life? What spiritual inheritance are you leaving for your descendants? I know I would have gone on sharing more, but because of time, kindly allow me to stop there. Thank you so much for giving me your attention and engaging with me even as we've shared these. I hope even as we end the year, this word will find a heart, a ground, for it to be able to grow, just go back and check your faith. You can even go back on YouTube, watch the sermon again. Even as I was preaching it, I'm preaching to myself. I had to preach to myself first for it to be a reality in me before I come and share it with you. My prayer is that the fire of your faith shall not be quenched, that you might mature in your faith, continue growing, for you to be the deliverance like Joseph of your generation. As creation awaits the manifestation of the sons of God, may we all be counted as the sons of God, the people who will be a deliverance to our generation. There's so much wrong and so much evil that's happening in our society. You're seeing what's happening in the high schools. In my time, the thought of a high school burning, then I'm going home to meet my father to Tumechoma Shule. The fear of the Lord needs to be imparted in these children. So my prayer is that this word has found a fertile ground to grow in. I'd like to thank also Infamy, Bishop and the board for this opportunity to share. This was my first time doing a sermon, and I'm really thankful.
You know, having been a minister on the pulpit for a good number of years, for more than 2 decades, I can always tell when someone is doing something for the first time or not. But, you know, as you advance in years and experience, there are certain things you know that when someone is doing for the first time, they will grow out of it. Some of us, we were lousy when we were on the pulpit. I think my first sermon was heretical, very heretical. Okay, every preacher has got a measure of heresy. T.D. Jakes has his own heresy. I've had a few heresies here and there. Even the late Miles was also the same. Joyce Meyer. I mean, we are all that way. But the good thing is that so long as you're not extremely heretical, everything is fine. Roger was not heretical. He ministered from his heart. You could actually tell that he was basically speaking from his heart. And you can actually tell that he really prayed and trusted God. You know, I'm a man of the Spirit, and I can always walk into someone's heart and I can tell and know the amount of preparation one had to undergo. But nonetheless, I think I look forward to listening to more and more from you, sharing about faith. This is wonderful. Yeah, it's good that you are able to understand your dad because of having me in your life. When you try to run away from certain things, God will set you up with another person. Hello? When you think that your own biological dad is choleric, he brings Bishop Gobanga, and Bishop just sets you up, isn't it? Yeah, and you know, fathers are not mesmerized by euphoria. You know, fathers are more concerned about the conviction that God has given them about your future. Because fathers see the future, they don't see now. You see, as children, you're more concerned about the temporal. But father figures look into the future. They look, you know, they have insight of God, and they're able to see into the future. So they start building a life with the future in mind. You get what I'm saying? And that's why there are times fathers will rebuke, they'll correct you, they'll do everything. And you know, the process might not be very good. The Bible says, do not despise the chastisement that he actually unleashes on you. Chastisement is good, and it works best, isn't it? You know, the Bible says God is spirit. God is not found in the teachings of men. He's not found in the actions of men. God is found in the motive of everything. Are you getting what I'm saying? God is found in the basis of everything. In other words, until you understand why certain things have to happen in your life, then you've not found purpose. If you do not understand why you come to church, then you came to church in vain. If you do not understand why you serve in church, then you're serving in vain. And that explains why some of you appeared to have been active a few years ago, but then pulled out because Bishop stepped on you. I can tell you confidently with my eyes wide open that there are people, when they see me coming on this other end, they turn and go the opposite direction. Or when I open my mouth, the next thing is that they'll not shake my hand because they know that I call forth the truth. And one of the things that I really, really urge some of us is to come to the place whereby we own up to responsibility. You know, when you're called out, it's not that you are hated. You need to take responsibility because it's for your own good. Can you imagine if your own children, because you know we have children, can you imagine your own children outshining you? You know, one of the things you must know, friends, oh my God, especially if you're a parent and for those of you who are going to be parents. I'm not talking about Roger's parents. Wow, amefanya kazi. I'm talking about you people who have started. The way some of you are appearing to be lazy, your children are going to show you what it means to be hardworking. Yes. You come to church late, they will start with you right from home. Daddy, mommy, you always go to church late. Why? You're wasting time. You see, when they are small, you might want to slap them and, because they are under your authority. But let me tell you, a time will come whereby your sons and daughters will tell you no, and you want to beat them. And we are living in times whereby children know their rights. Friends, nowadays you beat up a child, a kid will take you to court. That is where the world is heading to. When you hear the Minister of Education saying that corporal punishment should be reintroduced, I don't know how successful that would be. I believe in corporal punishment because caning is biblical. Yes. This idea of raising spaghetti boys and girls who cannot be able to stand up for anything, who are fabulous and fake, they can't even do anything. When they are called out, they are in trauma. I believe in the stick. Maybe it's because, okay, the thing is this, maybe it's because I'm a teacher by training. And in our days, we used to cane. Foolishness is locked up in the heart of a child. No kid is born with wisdom. The last time I checked, no child is born with wisdom. And if you allow children to just have their way, they will sit on you. So if you're a parent and you're pampering your son and your daughter, blah, 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 you want to macromanage. For now, you can macromanage, but wait until they get into their teenage and they start dressing in very funny ways.